Just a few days ago, I shared an audio likening the energy we were moving through to that of a birth. Here we are now, in the midst of the solar eclipse energy, facing the polar opposite of birth, death. Both processes painful, both processes necessary, beginning with birth and ending with death, a whole lifetime of awareness squeezed into a 2-week window, revealing to us that the only way to attain what we want out of this lifetime is to trust that life wants the same for us, and that we need to trust its processes, and trust its timing, and that when what we want is invisible to the human eye, this may be, and in fact is, the only solution. I often talk to the moon, and also keep my ears open to its wisdom, putting its wisdom into words. And while so much has been said about this solar eclipse, going into it, it was still unclear what to expect. Knowing something big is coming, but not knowing what it is, what it will do, and how things will change. Navigating my own personal feelings of pain, impatience, irritation, and grief, I came across feelings that hold nuances and depths I've never experienced. You see, I'm familiar with the healing power of surrender, and when I'm faced with circumstances beyond my control, I sit with my consciousness in my heart and surrender, sending my problem upwards to the divine that knows everything. But this time, my heart kept resisting. There was a back and forth, a tug of war between my heart and how I'm used to dealing with it, as if to say, no, I don't want to surrender. I don't want to wait. I don't want to cry right now. I will not hold you. What I want is for you to listen to me, and I want you to do as I say. I kept giving it the instruction to surrender, and the energy refused to collapse. It just would not. I could feel that it had something to do with surrender, but as I began to recognize that the sadness and pain was unfamiliar and felt deeper than fear itself, I asked myself whether there was another form of surrender my ailing heart was asking for. An unfamiliar route that maybe doesn't send my problem upwards, but rather one that requires me to send the problem inwards, to send myself inwards, to surrender inwards, to take everything that I think I know about who I am and what I can do and let my heart swallow it, to collapse inwards into myself. And so, being well aware that this was all the work of the moon happening inside of me, I asked it to send help, to send understanding, to send relief. Dear moon, why will my heart not open its door? And the moon said, submit. This is death. Submit. As if to say, admit it, you aren't the boss. You don't know what you're doing. You are too proud. You think you run things, and you don't, because it doesn't matter how much you want this thing. The timing is just not up to you. Submit. The moon's tone did sound more stern than what I'm used to. I was surprised, but again, the ego too does not go gentle into that good night. At this time, I saw myself walking through the proverbial valley of the shadow of death, and was comforted and reminded that even in this darkness, in all of the unknown and in the absence of understanding, one thing I can count on knowing is that all plans are laid before me, and that all I can do is allow all parts of myself that want what I want, that plan for what I want, and dictate the timing that I want, are being called to die. To die so that I can trust, to trust so that I can travel lighter, travel faster to the promised land. And so with all this uncertainty we've been navigating, wondering what this big unknown event the solar eclipse brings, we are reminded that such is the nature of death. It comes in divine timing and without warning. It brings an aspect of us to an end, and that while the ego may resist, we are offered the comfort of trust, and that by following the light that allows the ego to collapse, we will land on the other side in new life, with perspective, greater understanding, and relief from suffering. In closing, I just want to say that I am so grateful to share these insights with you, not as any authority, but rather as a fellow soul on this journey. It is my privilege to be trusted with a space of this nature, and also a privilege to be able to put into words some clarity on the energies that we share.